Greetings, I'm Adrienne Southworth, your Senator from the 7th District. This is a 2024 update to my video series on issues that constituents care about in Anderson, Henry, Shelby, and Southeast Jefferson counties. I want to welcome my wonderful buddy Leo here today. He's helped me help numerous of my constituents with his expertise in navigating veteran benefits, since that escapes mine and my other state staff resources pretty quickly as it gets into the federal weeds. Thanks so much for being here, Leo, and for helping our guys and gals navigate what is a total quagmire, it seems like, in government now.
Sure. Yeah, it's no problem. It's my honor to serve any veteran, specifically Kentucky veterans. But it's an honor. As a military retiree myself, it's my passion. So anybody I can help, I will do so.
Well, I appreciate you and all of your passions in
thank you.
Getting through the craziness that can be
the political theater. It's drama, and drama may people don't. I think people are tired of drama. They want results. That's what they want. I don't want drama. As you get older, you don't want drama. You want results. You want a better way of life. You want quality of life. We don't have leaders that listen to the people and then reflect their voices at a local, state, or federal level.
I think a big issue that you're touching on is the stuff that I see, which is, you know, let's only tweak the edge. Let's not actually dig in and do the hard, heavy lifting and say that we fixed it.
Correct. What we see and what I've seen is you see it in upcoming campaigns, you see it in every single, it doesn't matter if it's in a business or politics, you'll see people that show up that are new to the scene and they make grandiose promises without knowing the intrinsic detail of what actually transpires.
That's a really good point, because I remember several years ago when I was first looking at this Senate race, you know, the issue is, do the people who are running even know what they're doing? And I mean, I know from having volunteered in Frankfort in the past, the answer to that is no. And even now, because in the executive branch, when I spent time there with the Lieutenant Governor, and then now I'm back in the legislature, you know, prior to that, I was volunteering in Frankfort in legislation stuff. And I knew the legislation from being around it, but I didn't really know what I do now after I've been in the executive branch on the back end of it. So then you're seeing how it actually affects people and how it actually plays out. And multiple times, you know, we've been in the Senate, it's like, well, we think this is going to happen, and then if we do this, then the governor's going to do that. And I say, no, that's not how they're calculating it at all. And this is actually what it is. And we do that and it works, right? But who's up there knowing this stuff and making sure it happens? And how do you know that stuff unless you've been through it? So I kind of highly recommend everyone try all three branches, because we all do checks and balances on each other. Mm-hmm. But then to know how really the extent of your power and how to use it best to get the most accomplished.
To me, a genuine leader wants to know the opinion of the people that put them in office. Now, it may not change their opinion, but at least they'll get respect in their constituents that they went point to point or face to face with them and asked them what they think of this, not their peers and what their peers want in Frankfort. What their peers want in Frankfort should not even come into play. The constituents' voices are the ones who are supposed to be reverberated through their elected officials' speaking or actions, in my opinion.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's what makes you such a good person in dealing with all of these things, because what you said at the beginning, trying to go through in different ways to get creative, to break out of the regular box. And then now you're like, accountability, you should be able to just face off what's going on instead of hiding or dodging or just not addressing it. And obviously that's why I appreciate your work and what your perspective, because it's the perspective I feel like we have to have more of, and we don't have more of. We have a lot of, let's try to not get things done instead of go run into the biggest problems and tackle them.
Yeah, the macro level problems, a lot of times those are the ones that get the most attention, but really I think where the impact is felt by the people at the local level is a lot of the micro level. And a lot of elected officials choose not to address the micro level issues, and they focus on the macro because that's what garners their attention. Now,
Or hits the headlines.
Yeah, it hits the headlines. And that doesn't resonate with people, I don't believe. Some of it does, don't get me wrong, some of it does. But the things that impact the voters at the local level, I think that is what keeps people from coming out and voting, is they've lost faith in the fact that their elected officials don't listen to them. I truly believe that there would be a larger number of individuals turning out to vote if they actually believed that we can say vote, but let's just say their voice actually matters, that it's actually being heard, and that it's not just checking a box or placing your vote for an individual. When you place your vote for an individual, that's part of the process. But when I vote for someone that I believe in. Now, they don't always win, but I vote for who I believe in, because who I believe in is someone who I've interacted with. And most of our elected officials have lost that tangible reality of reaching out and actually interacting on a genuine level. There's another word that's overused. Genuinity is part of integrity. It means you're real. Someone can tell me something that I don't agree with, but if I know they're telling me the truth, I respect them. I respect them because I know that they're standing strong in their belief system, and I can work with that. I can work with the truth.
Key, that I think we have to have in Frankfurt, because I think the founders set up this whole Constitution for us to come together and all share our beliefs. And then, like you said, if it turns out that I can't get anybody else to go along with my great idea, but we only do part of it, then let's do the part we have consensus on. But it seems like anymore it's turned into, as you said, it's headline show or something like that.
And that's where I'll go back to the veterans issue. I'll key in on that real quick. Anytime that I've had a veteran question, or that I want to do something for Kentucky veterans, I call on Adrienne, your Senator Southworth. I call on her because I know that she'll listen to me, and I know that it's going to gain some level of foothold, at least in her office. Now, whether or not it moves up from there, that's where it gets into the nuances of the political system. And it's nice to have a voice through you, because otherwise sometimes the little people, per se, don't get their good intentions out to help others.
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate all of the help that you've given me and helping me in these issues, and the other folks. And thanks for being here today.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful rest of your day.
You as well.
Share this video with your friends in Anderson, Henry, Shelby, and Southeast Jefferson County. And on May 21st, be sure to vote for Adrienne Southworth.